For media availability here on the eve of setting the chase grid for 2014. We've got our defending race winner here at Richmond. That's Carl Edwards. He drives the number 99 Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. And Carl, certainly you're neatly tucked into the chase already. I know you'd like to get that other win to get those 3 extra bonus points. That's a big deal when the tallies reset. Just talk about your mindset coming back here to a racetrack where you won a year ago.
I love this racetrack. We really have a good time here. As a group, we run really well here. The cars are fun to drive. It's a battle. I mean, it's hard just to get your car set up for the race is very difficult. So, practice is a lot of we tried a lot of things and we're guessing at a few things, but we finished practice on top. I feel like we've got a good shot at the pole, and hopefully that bodes well for tomorrow. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to happen tomorrow night. It's going to be a really stressful race for a lot of folks, and hopefully for us, it's a chance to just go out and get another 3 bonus points, because I do believe these first few rounds of the chase are going to be pretty difficult for us, so we want to get all the bonus points we can.
All right, we'll take questions. We'll start back here in the back with Ben. Raise your hand, Ben. And then we'll get the gentleman back here on the back row. Then we'll go to Lewis, and then Tom.
Carl, Ben White with the Lexington Dispatch, and I apologize, you've probably been asked this 99 times already, but now that we're one race away from the chase, can you describe how the qualifying has changed and how the competition has changed in 2014 by using those new formats?
Qualifying is definitely different. I think it's more dynamic. There are more things that can happen. There's opportunity for to make more mistakes, to miss adjustments, but from a driver's perspective, it's just that you have to go through that qualifying lap multiple times, and those qualifying laps are they're one of the tougher parts of this sport. And so for me personally, you go out there, you make a perfect lap, and that's great. You got to do it again, and sometimes even a couple more times. So, but it has been fun. I mean, Sonoma was a blast, getting to kind of claw our way back up there and make the next round. And I think those things they're exciting for us. Hopefully the fans enjoy it.
Let's go to the gentleman on the back row. Then we'll go to Lewis, and then Nate.
With Chipper 8 News back here. In the chase, you mentioned how a lot of guys are going to be aggressive out there on the track come tomorrow, trying to get that win to get into the chase. As a guy who's trying to get those bonus points, what's the strategy for you and your team, knowing that there are going to be some guys that might be, a little bit aggressive out there, not really caring, and they just want to get into the chase while you're just situated?
I mean, I don't know that I could really forecast what's going to happen tomorrow night. I think that it's pretty wide open. It could go a number of ways. If weather were to become a factor, I think you would see some insane strategies, some really aggressive restarts. You could see people, doing a lot of blocking, trying to stay out front. I mean, at the end of the day, if a guy that has an opportunity to win the race tomorrow night, if a guy that needs to win the race to make it the chase, to be in the chase, if he has an opportunity to win it, I can't imagine him holding back anything. So we'll just go out and race and have a good time. Hopefully I'm in a position to win, and at the very least, I hope I get to see a pretty good show.
We'll go to Lewis, Nate, and then Tom Jensen.
Lewis Frank Reuters. Carl, obviously you adapted to the new tire. Some people didn't. What do you like about this week's tire?
I honestly didn't know it was a new tire until about halfway through practice, so I was not. It does have a little more stagger, and you can tell a little bit on corner entry. It's a little freer. But I think Goodyear's been doing a great job with the tires. If you really think about all the force we put on these tires at every racetrack, how much we ask of them, low tire pressures and high G loads. I mean, it's pretty amazing that Goodyear's able to keep coming to these racetracks and bringing good tires. So I'm fine with the tire. I think as long as we're all racing on the same tire, the more difficult it is, the better. I think it puts it more in the driver's hands.
We'll go Nate, Tom Jensen, Chris Knight.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Carl, without being able to maybe accurately forecast what's going to happen, that the last 3 races here, there was a yellow flag in the last 10 laps and then a lead change. Is it pretty likely that that's going to happen Saturday? And if it does, like, what makes this track so conducive to that happening?
I don't know. I don't know all of the stats, but it doesn't really matter what's happened in the past. It seems like we always find a way to make things insane some new way. So I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, here at Richmond, I always go into the race, and especially the final 50 laps or so, just assuming that anything can happen. I mean, I've seen the race go a number of different ways. It seems like a lot of times the fastest car doesn't win because things get bunched up. Restarts are insane. I mean, you can restart 8th with fresh tires and pass everybody in a lap. I mean, it's a crazy racetrack. So it's not over till it's over.
We'll go to Tom, Chris, and then Paul.
Hi, Carl. Tom Jensen, Fox Sports. Your situation is pretty well set. Your best case, you win Saturday night, you're tied with the guys who won 3. Your worst case is you go into the chase being down 6. How important is this race to you? Is there anything to the idea of momentum heading into the chase, or can you just be maybe a little bit relaxed on this one?
Well, a year ago we won the race and then finished last in the chase. So I'm not a big believer in the momentum thing, but at the end of the day, the opportunity for us to go get 3 points, that could make or break our whole season. So if we have a shot to win, we have to go win the race. I know how tough Chicago, Loudon, and Dover are going to be, and if we miss the cut by two points, we had an opportunity to win this race. That'd be it'd be hard to sleep on that. So I think we've got a car that could potentially win. I love this place, and if we have a shot at it, I don't see any reason why I shouldn't race as hard as humanly possible to get it.
We'll go to Chris and then Paul. Chris?
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Carl, this is your last chase with Roush Fenway Racing, but there's also talk that it could be Jimmy Fenning's last chase as a crew chief. Has he talked about retirement with you?
Well, he mentioned something about it in the window last week before the race started, and then I asked if he was serious, and he says he's serious. He says this is going to be his last year crew chief. And I told him I don't know how that's supposed to make me feel, that after all the drivers, I'm the one that ran them off into retirement, but I guess I can be that difficult. But I really feel honored to have worked with Jimmy Fennick. He's amazing. He's 61 years old, and he works as hard as anyone I've ever seen. So hopefully we can get him some more victories and a championship this year. That would be really cool.
Paul Woody, right here, right in front of you, Paul.
Carl, this is an off-the-track question. A lot of former drivers struggle with finances and health care. Would you be in favor of establishing some type of fund to aid them? And if so, any ideas on how to fund the fund?
I'm not up to speed enough on the different people's struggles to comment on that. I try to just manage things for myself the best I can and take and go from there.
Question over here, far left. Raise your hand.
Kyle McCurry, Fox 46 in Charlotte. Talk to me about this race, and do you think the new chase format has had any impact on the excitement around it that we usually see here?
I don't know. I mean, for me as a driver, Richmond is a blast. I mean, it's fun. It's a really good time to drive here. As a fan growing up, I know I was always stuck right in front of the TV, or we always had updates at our dirt track when Richmond was going on. I mean, this is one of the races that no race fan wants to miss. As far as the new chase format, I don't know. It could have no impact on the outcome of the race or the excitement level, but it could be extremely interesting. So I do applaud NASCAR. They've put a system in place that gives the opportunity for some real drama and some real excitement. And there'll probably be people real excited and there'll be people really frustrated, and I think that's fun to watch.
Any additional questions? Right here, Bob Pockris has one, and Stan Creekmore.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Apologize if this was asked earlier, but do you expect guys without wins to do whatever they have to do to you to get by you if you're like in the top 5 late tomorrow night?
I do expect that. I expect some pretty ruthless racing if a guy has an opportunity. And I think you're going to see that not just tonight, but you're going to see it at the 3rd race of the chase, the 6th race, the 9th race, and definitely in Homestead. I mean, NASCAR has done a good job of putting us in a position where a a lot can depend on one pass, one lap, one restart. Everything can depend on that. And I think for us as drivers, sometimes that's frustrating, but it'll definitely create some excitement.
Stanley?
Stan Creekmore. Same question I asked Jimmy Johnson. Have you looked heavily at the chase enough to realize that the winner in Homestead could be someone who doesn't win in any one of those 10 races?
Right.
And
That's exactly the point I brought up when they talked about this format, and it was pointed out to me that that could have happened under any of the formats we've had. So that's always a possibility, and in a way it should, consistency and the lack of mistakes should be rewarded somehow. I believe the only real downside to this chase format that could show up this year, hopefully it won't show up in the future, is just the fact that these cars are so aero sensitive that you could have a guy that gets stuck in traffic, and simply because of his placement on the track and track position, no matter how bad he wants to go up there and run up to that guy and bump him out of the way, or no matter how bad he wants to drive that car harder than the guy in front of him, he can't. So I know NASCAR is working very hard on taking the, making the race more in the driver's hands and the crew chief's hands, and I firmly believe that less downforce, less aero dependence is going to head us that direction. But to me, that's really the only downside, and it sounds like NASCAR is working on that.
Any further questions for Carl Edwards? Carl, thank you for coming in, and good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thanks, guys.